Hello, students. Today I'd like to talk to you about the measures of central tendency. Now, in the list that I've got on the screen here, I've got the mean, which is the most accurate measure, the median, the second most accurate, the mode, which is considered to be the least accurate, and there's another one that comes in from time to time, and it's called the range. And range is the difference between the largest value, or the largest, and the smallest value. You're going to see that this becomes very critical when we get into dealing with outliers in our next lesson. Outliers being a number that doesn't really fit within a set of data. It's either really high or really low. And the range can be a great indicator there of something that's affected by outliers. But we'll come back to that. When we look at this activity, what we're trying to do is figure out what the price would be if all the games were the same price. So what we need to do is bring these up to a level that's going to work out. In other words, we have Monopoly at 13, but the deck of cards at 2. So what we want to do is try to level the bars off to a number that's going to work. So right now, 8 and 9 seem to be in the middle. 6 is a little bit lower. Why don't we try aiming for 7? So if I take skip bow and I change that to 7, okay, so this will be 7 now. Okay, skip bow. That means I have 2 to give. Okay, that means I have 2 extras to use. Monopoly. Well, if I go to Monopoly and I now have it at 7, that means I've got 2, I have 6 extra to level that off. Now look at Jenga. If I want Jenga to be there, okay, I'm going to need to get some out of this. So if I want Jenga at 7, if I want Jenga at 7, what I need to do is I need to borrow 3 from here. So now I only have 3 left, okay? Uno, I need 1. Okay, so I'm going to take 1 from here. So I only have 1 left to give. Yahtzee. Okay, so Yahtzee, if I go ahead and I want it at 7, I need to take 1 away. So I have 1 to give. And the last one is the deck of cards. And if I want it at 7, what I need to do is I need to come up with 5. And if you look, I have 5. I have 1 to give, plus 3 is 4 to give. There's the 5. And that would all go, these would all go into that one. So 7 would be the answer. Now you're not used to it this way, but that's really what we're doing. We're trying to level the playing field. So if we were to do this mathematically, we would say the mean equals sum of values divided by the number of values. And what we end up having, if we take the numbers we were given, we would have 9 plus 13 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 2, and there were 6 numbers. That actually gives us 42 over 6, and the answer is 7. But I didn't go to the formula first. I wanted to show you that we were going to borrow from the others to bring the other ones up, okay? It's a little bit easier to do if you have cubes in front of you. In other words, if you were to spread them out equally and move them around, okay? Now, I just ran over this mean or average. To calculate the mean, you find the sum of all the numbers you have and divide by this sum by the number of numbers you started with. You'll get the mean or average, the set of numbers. I want to put a little note to the side. I don't believe we'll get a big decimal value here, but just put a star always round to the nearest hundredth. And you remember from previous lessons that we do this because we want to go to the nearest penny. Okay, but if we were to go ahead here, we have mean equals, and we're going to go with number, or sum of values, divided by the number of values. And if we do that, we have 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 4 plus 2 plus 3 plus 7 plus 8. And we are dividing that by, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. Okay. So we need to get that sum. So 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 6 is 15, plus 4 is 19, plus 2 is 21, plus 3 is 24, plus 7 is 31, plus 8 is 39. So we are going to get a decimal here because 39 divided by 8 will not be an even number. So when we go ahead and we do this, we end up with 39 divided by 8. That gives us this value, 4 and 875 thousandths, which we know we're going to round to nearest hundred, sevenths in the hundred. The 5 tells us to round up, so we will end up with 4 and 88 hundredths. When you have the median is the number that falls directly in the middle of a set of numbers. What you want to do is you want to order all the values you're given from least to greatest. If there's an odd number of values, the middle value is the median. If there's an even number of values, you take the middle values, add them together, divide by 2 to determine the median. So when we look at this one here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in order. So I have 30. So I've used it. I have two 34s. Oops, 34 and 34. There. I have a 36. I have 37, 39, 39. Now what's interesting is that we go to the middle number. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So the middle number will be 36. You'll notice that there are 3 on each side. So the median equals 36. Now, this other one's a bit different. So if I order this from least to greatest, I have 2, 3, I have 5, 7, 8, and 9. Now there are 6 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what I need to do is I need to take these 2 middle numbers, and as I had said earlier, I add them together. 5 plus 7 equals 12. 12 divided by 2 gives me 6. So the median equals 6. Not too crazy, not too complicated, but that's what if you have an odd set of numbers or you have an even set of numbers. Okay? Mode and range are another one that we work with. Mode is the number that occurs the most in a set of data, and range is the difference between the largest value largest number of value and the smallest number of value. What we can do here, though, we can do all 4 things. So we can add in, if we were to do this real quick, we can add in the mean and mode as well for, median for this set of data. So the first thing we should do whenever we get a set of data, any set of data, is order it from least to greatest. So let's go ahead and do that. And actually, I'm going to show you how this will really make it very, very easy to work with. So the smallest number here that we have is 20. So 20, we have 20. There are 3 of them actually. So 1, 2, and 3. We see a 21, so that goes. And we have a 23. Oops. 23, 25, 26. We have 28 and 29. Now, you can do a couple of them. Mode is the number that occurs the most in a set of data. So really, the mode here is kind of easy to do. If we just take this, we do mode, and I'll do it in green so it shows up. Mode's pretty easy. There's 3 20s right there. They show the most, so 20 is the mode. If no number shows up the most, if they're all there the same amount of times, there's no mode. If there are two numbers that showed up 3 times and 3 was the largest volume of occurrence, then those two numbers would be the mode. But in this instance, it's only 20. If I go to range, so what I'm going to do, the largest minus the smallest. So range, really easy to do. Range equals largest minus smallest. The largest value is 29. The smallest is 20, which means our range is 9. In other words, there's only a 9-point difference between the largest and smallest. The numbers are fairly close. In our next lesson, we'll talk about outliers where the range is much bigger and it can show discrepancy in data. Now, if we wanted to do median, okay, so let's do median, right? That would be our middle number. Okay, and in this instance, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The middle number would be the 5th number. So if I go ahead and we're going to highlight the 5th number, there it is, it's 23. You can see that there's 4 on this side and 4 on this side. So 23 is the correct median, and that was easy to do. Now, because we've already got everything listed here, we've got 3 of the 4, we can do mean now. So let's go ahead and do mean, and mean is the sum of values divided by the number of values, but we already know there's 9. And we have everything lined up there. So what we can do is just put little addition signs between these, because you've already organized your information. And again, in previous lessons and all throughout the year, I've told you, the more organized you are, the better. So we have 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 21 plus 23 plus 25 plus 26 plus 28 plus 29. I got 212. And we're going to divide that by 9. And that will give us 23 and 55 hundredths. Remember, round to the nearest hundredth. Now I'm going to double check. Whenever I do a larger calculation, I always want to make sure that I have it correct. So I always like to go through it a second time and make sure that I haven't made a calculation error. It's very easy to do, but yes, it was 212, and divide by 9 gives us 23 and 55 hundredths. So, and technically 55 hundredths, it should actually be 56 hundredths. So we'll just change that and we're good to go. Those are the measures of central tendency. This should be a review, but we use these quite a bit in our daily life. You'll use it all the way through in analyzing statistics. So it's a good set of concepts to know and to understand. Always use your formulas and make sure you organize your work carefully.